Hi everyone, this is Gierki, and in the last couple of months I have been really busy, buzz, experimenting with my open world framework, and the first thing that I noticed is that I really don't like my blue ball, which I'm using here to navigate around the open world. So the first thing I did is I implemented a vehicle body, which is natively with Godot, and it's really easy to operate. So the first thing of transportation that I was thinking of was just a simple car. Godot already provides you with the vehicle body, and it is actually pretty easy to use. You just have engine power, brakes and steering, and you get all of the nodes from Godot itself. So it was really pretty easy to implement, and yeah, it looks pretty nice. And the cool thing about all of this is you really get the feel of scale of the entire world. So if you zoom out, you really can see how big the world is in comparison with a car. The cool thing is that we as human, we have a scale of reference to a car, but we don't have to a blue ball. So that was, I think, the first good improvement here. This is just experimental. It is not for the future. I'm gonna change everything probably, but just for playing around and just getting a feel how big the world is. Yeah, that was a right step. So the next thing I implemented was a ship, and the thing with the ship was also pretty easy to implement since I already had a buoyancy in the game. The only thing that I had to add are those particles when it's in contact with water. And what I was really surprised with Godot itself, I think I remember correctly, in Unity you just had a boolean where you could just emit based on speed. Maybe I'm wrong, please write me in the comments, I'm not sure. But here there was not an option like that, so I had to program it myself. So basically the buoyancy probe is checking if it's in the water from a value to a value, and it has a speed value where it's emitting at maximum speed or maximum amount, which would be 1, and with the minimum speed, in this case I think it's just 5, so it's emitting just a little bit of those bubbles. And yeah, it was also really fun to implement and just to play around. And yeah, we also can have a stranded ship, and like I said before, it is checking if it's in water or not. And the third vehicle that I implemented was a drone. So here we have the drone, and the most important thing for the drone that I wanted to have was I wanted it to interact with the ground. So if I try to touch the ground, the rigid body is actually really interacting with the ground. And also when I'm getting combat mode and I'm firing my weapons, that's pretty funny when it's interacting with the ground. Let me do it, for example, with those rocks here. So it has this weird shots everywhere like crazy, so you can imitate I'm angry and stuff and just shoot like crazy. The thing is, how it works is basically I'm using a dampening code that I found from a YouTube tutorial actually, where it was about car dampening and stuff, and I'm using the same line of code. I'm gonna blend it in here, where it's trying to stick to the ground but not going too far. But in case I'm in my peaceful mode here and I'm going off, so I can fly here around. The cool thing is now that since we can shoot, I also implemented some barrels that we can actually shoot at. So let me fly over there. And also let me show you those amazing particle effects again. Not only the ship is using it, but the drone is using it too, because it's basically using the buoyancy probe again and the same particle emitter. And if you're in the range of water, which is -2 and 5, I guess, and it's just emitting. And if you get slow, it is just emitting minimal amount. So yeah, I actually always thought that something like this would be native in Godot. It's not, so yeah. Maybe you have realized, but I have turned off the clouds. The clouds are right now work in progress, and they're going to be much better than they were before. I want to use 3D clouds so the player can actually fly through them, find some holes and all of that. And maybe in the future, in case we are going to use some VTOLs, I want to have different engine performances depending of if you're in the cloud or not. Okay, so here we arrived at our beacon, which is spawning those barrels here, and our drone, since it can shoot, it can destroy those barrels. And if a barrel is destroyed, it is going to respawn. And here I was really hard experimenting how I'm gonna handle those collisions, since the game actually is creating the collisions only around the player. It would be really performance intensive if I would create collisions for the entire map, which is 30 by 30 kilometers, and the view distance here are 8 kilometers with some fog, which is like making it almost not visible, but anyway. And so those barrels need to have some different kind of logic, and here I was just experimenting. I didn't finish that part, and yeah, with the barrels part here, I will never finish that. I will continue the project, and we're gonna see in the future how I'm gonna handle that. But yeah, so here around the player, the game is creating some collisions. Here you saw it, that this barrel, the second one, disappeared in the ground because the collision was not created for that chunk here, and the barrel just could clip through it. That's why I'm using here a static body and a rigid body for hitting detection. So when I'm hitting the barrel, doesn't matter which one I'm hitting, both of them are exploding in this case. Like I said, it's work in progress. I will not finish the thing with the barrels, since this is just like experimentation thing what I'm doing here with everything right now. But yeah, and it's necessary for the future, so I know what I'm handling here with. Okay, so that's basically it for this video. We have our cute angry drone, which is now our new blue ball for exploring the map and just figuring out what is working, what's not, just exploring the map. And as we had before, we can instant teleport everywhere. And yeah, thank you for watching. Write me in the comments, like something like "Data boy," like the video. Yeah, thank you for watching. Bye.